Okay, welcome to the class EPPE3123 Industry and International Business. So we are continuing with the study of complex system, and we're going to go into some of the basic foundation, or what is it that has become the basis for this complex system theory. It's coming from biology, combination with physics, thermodynamics, physics, and this applied to various other fields. And the application later on with this paper that I've written, and some of the examples of complex system application. But first, let's go to okay. Complex system, the basic theory. This is just one of the definition, often referred to as wholes. The whole, they are more than the sum of its parts. That's the emergence. One of the characteristics of the complex system theory is the emergence, and that emergence refers to this. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So the whole whose behavior cannot be understood without looking at the individual components and how they interact. So you can read this from one of the, I mentioned earlier, Santa Fe, that has to do with using the complex system onto the study of environment. And you can also read this complex system from the University of Waterloo in Canada. What are examples of complex system? Example of complex systems are Earth, global climate, organism, human brain, infrastructure such as power grid, transportation and communication system, complex software in electronics, social and economic organization like cities. So when we talk about social and economic organization, we can also talk about research and development. We can talk about technology development, how interactions among scientists, among institutions, venture capitals, and firms within the R&D or technology development ecosystem will generate new technology. So there's social, and economic organizations. An ecosystem, a living cell, and ultimately the entire universe. What is complex system thinking? Okay, before we go, that here, I think we read already. We're going to read again. A complex system is a system composed of many components, many parts, many components, parts or components, which may interact with each other. We call it also element, many parts, components of elements which interact with each other. Example of complex systems are Earth, global climate, organism, human brain, and so on. So, what is complex system thinking? This means seeing that everything exists within a context. Everything is in relationship to other parts of a system and to the system as a whole. Knowing more about relationships within a system and the dynamics of those relationships allows us to make better decisions. What is a complex system called? Oh, this is one of the complexity theory. And what is complex system in technology? Complex systems are what emerge when basic building blocks come together to generate something new. And this is what we are trying to get into, or trying to get at. What emerge when building blocks come together to generate something new? When there is a concentration or clustering, the word clustering, cluster, clustering, concentration in clustering. Firms get together, firms converge or cluster in certain area like Silicon Valley. That area, firms, tech firms are there. They're clustering. So by clustering, we believe with being clustered here in one location, and we assume there are interactions among them, among the firms inside the one area. This will generate something new. That something new is how their ability to produce new technology, that their ability. That ability, what we call inventiveness. Invention, space, yeah. Clustering, inventiveness. Yeah. This inventiveness is what the outcome of being together in one place with interactions. So that it works as a system and in an ecosystem. That's what we call ecosystem for science and technology. Ecosystem for science and technology and R&D. So in the ecosystem, what will be? Scientists, engineers, universities, government research institute, firms, uh, the supplier, the firms can be supplier, and logistic, and many other things. Government incentives. So that's what we call the ecosystem. The whole eco. It's like a eco. It's like ecology. So that's ecology from the environment. This is ecosystem that's healthy for something that they want to achieve. In this case, they want to achieve technology development and science and technology and R&D. So that ecosystem is very important. So it works as a system. The interactions create a system that will produce. So what emerge when basic building blocks, these basic building blocks, elements here, scientists, engineers, firms, banks, yes, banks as well, venture capitals, uh, research institute, training, testing center, to test the products, not to test people, testing the products. Um, all this part of the ecosystem. This emergent property, that's what we call emergent property. That characteristic, the property here is characteristics. Emerging, emergent property. Emerge. caret. New characteristics. Emerge something new, new characteristics. So the emergent properties can be unpredictable, powerful, and even beautiful. And they are the heart of what the complex of what the CU complex systems groups seeks to understand. So what is complex system in technology? Yes, to create something new. New technology. What's the most complex system? The brain is the last and the grandest biological frontier, the most complex thing we have yet discovered in our universe. It contains hundreds of billions of cells interlinked through trillions of connections. What is a simple complex system? Fully knowable and predictable. Complicated, not easy to know, not simple, but once known, fully predictable. Complex means not knowable. Models provide tools for reasonable predictions within boundaries. Complex and wicked systems have no simple solution. So if the complex system is simple, fully knowable and predictable. If it's complicated, not easy to know, which is not simple, but once known, fully predictable. That's complicated. Simple, complicated. Now complex, not knowable. Models provide tools for reasonable prediction within boundaries. What are the complex systems in everyday life? Example of this include cities, economies, economy of a country. Complex system also. Economy of China, economy of Malaysia, economy of the world, civilization, and the nervous system, the internet, and the ecosystem. Paradoxically, paradoxically, the complex world is one that we can, in many senses, perceive and measure directly. I mentioned about Santa Fe Institute. This is mostly on environment, studying, uh, system thinking and complex system to apply to environment. How do you analyze a complex system? One way to understand and analyze such system is by using formal methods. Formal methods are mathematical based techniques to abstractly represent or model the behavior and interactions of system. Okay, what are the four characteristics of the complex system? We saw this on the video last night. Number one is emergence. That emergence that we spoke about earlier, something new, a new characteristic, emergent properties. Property here is not land, it's not house. Properties here, characteristic, emergent properties. We mean new characteristics that has emerged That's the meaning. Emergent property. Number two, self-organization. Agents will self-organize in such a way that create certain homeostatic condition, and that homeostatic can be later on dynamic, but we want to see here actually agents, economic agents, shipment, shipment firms all behave accordingly, and they self-organize according to the parameters they face. Just like a car on a highway or cars on a highway, when you're driving on a highway, you enter an area where it is busy, a city or industrial area. If you're going too fast, like 140, 150 kilometers per hour, you will feel that that speed is too fast. So all the cars will be slowing down accordingly, even though they don't know each other. And nobody calls, hey, you in the front, please slow down. No, nobody. So it is they self-organize to the speed that is a suitable for that stretch of the road in that area. Once you pass the industrial or urban area or the city area, you will go into the rural area. I mean, along the highway, you see farms, left and right, all farms. So you can go fast, and everyone is going fast because number one, less number of, there's no exit. But near the city just now, so many exits. So that's why cars are going slower. But so what's that? After you pass that area, you don't know that you're fast. You're going like 120, 100, 120 or 130. You feel like you're going at 80 kilometers per hour. Mm. And then once the cars get into the town area, left and right is town or industrial area, they're self-organized to slow down to a speed that's suitable for that area. That's example of self-organization. City also self-organized where and what uh, will be located. They self-organize. Uh, those activities having to do with large value added like banking will be in cities, and then other activity that use a lot of lands will go away from the cities because land prices are very high in the middle of cities. CBD, what we call CBD, Central Business District. These are all banks or shopping area. I mean, shopping, but even shopping area will go to the fringe of the city. But however, they are really middle of the city, downtown shopping. Like in Kuala Lumpur, you have a pavilion right in one section of the city of Kuala Lumpur. Mm. So self-organized feedback loop It's a loop. The more people use Google, the more people, and it's the growth is non-linear, so it's exponential. That's one of the characteristics of complex system, and even we studied much earlier, the network effects is non-linear. And these characteristics can be utilized to make software design easier or can be utilized to study whatever phenomenon, including technology development, and improve the quality of software which are impressive. Not only software, okay? This is too very narrow. Uh, what is the difference between chaotic and complex system? Chaotic systems have strange attractors. Complex systems have evolving phase spaces and a range of possible attractors. Why do complex systems fail? The complexity of complex systems makes it impossible for them to run without multiple weaknesses being present. Because these are individually inefficient, inefficient to cause failure, they are regarded as a minor factor during operations. Complex systems therefore run in degraded mode as the normal mode of operation. What is a complex system in business? Due to interconnectivity, complex systems consist of many components interacting with each other and their environment in multiple ways. Yeah, emergence again. Properties of complex system as a whole are very different and often unexpected from properties of their individual component. Why is complex system important? Understanding complex systems is critical for both scientists and non-scientists. For scientists and engineers, the understanding of complex systems is critical for the ability to apply knowledge and techniques across contexts. For example, to apply physics knowledge to biological context. Is internet a complex system? The internet is a complex system in the sense that a complicated system exhibiting simple behavior as opposed to simple system exhibiting complex behavior. Any more that I want to go through? Is the economy a complex system? A growing number of economists and social scientists view that the economy as a complex adaptive system. Complex adaptive system, a distributed network of dynamically interacting homogeneous agents whose behaviors and strategies and relationships evolve over time. Now, EPPE. Okay. From the reading above, the applications of let's go to the wiki that will give us more general idea. One second. Uh, Wait, one second. I get some water. Okay. Compose how many components, many parts or elements which may interact with each other. And this we've read this. I'm accepting more people. Uh, oh, okay. Uh, Social and economic organizations like cities, ecosystem, living cell, ultimately the universe. Complex systems are systems whose behavior is intrinsically difficult to model due to the dependencies. Complex systems are systems, which I will click what is a system, whose behavior is intrinsically difficult to model due to the dependencies elements are dependent on other things due to competitions, due to relationships, and other types of interactions between their parts or their elements or their components, or between a given system and its environment. A given system and its surrounding. Yes, when we see environment, in our case, there are two types of the meaning of environment. Surrounding, not the environment, the smoke, not that one. System and its surrounding. That's the meaning of environment. It's the surrounding. Systems that are complex. So what is a system? Uh, Look at this. System. A system is a group of interacting or interrelated elements. See the word elements, we sometimes use the word elements, sometimes we use the word parts, sometimes we use the word components. We are referring to the same thing. Interrelated elements that act according to a set of rules to form a unified whole. A set of rules. Why a set of rules? A system works according to what has been designed, and that it is designed according to the rule. The rules here can refer to the institutions by the government, the regulations put in place by the government, and so that is a source, the main source of rules here set by the government. That's the formal rule. What about culture, values? This thing you can do according to the culture. This thing you cannot do. That's informal rules. There are two types of rules, formal and informal. Formal by the government. Informal is by people, by the culture. A system surrounded and influenced by its environment. But environment is described by its boundaries. A system has boundaries, structure, purpose, and is expressed in its functioning. Systems are the subject of study of system theory. Transdisciplinary study of system, which is cohesive groups of interrelated and interdependent components that can be natural or artificial. Every system has causal boundaries, is influenced by its context, defined by its structure, function, role. So, system theory. System science. Systems have several common properties and characteristics, including structure, functions, behavior, and interconnectivity. The term system comes from Latin, the word systema, and turned from Greek. I cannot read. Whole concept made of several parts of members or system. Literary composition. Yeah, this is open system, input output surrounding boundary. City is an open system, have input. This is, if you consider this is Silicon Valley, the boundary surrounding input output. This is, even though there's a boundary here, but it's open system. Matters can go in, energy can go in, information can go in. So this is input output is an open system. Systems that are complex, what is complex? Complicated, huh? Have distinct multiple ways and follow the local rules, leading to non-linearity, randomness, collective dynamics, in hierarchy and emergence. Have distinct properties that arises from this relationship, such as non-linearity, emergence, spontaneous order, adaptation, feedback loops, among others. Because such systems appear in a wide variety of fields, the commonalities of among them have become topic. So we're not going to read all. Non-linearity, emergence, even there's no emerge in certain way, not all nodes are the same. Adaptation, feedback loop. Hmm. The term complex system often refers to the study of complex systems, which is an approach to science that investigate how relationships between a system's parts give rise to its collective behavior. Collective behavior. Interactions among parts give rise to collective behaviors and how systems interact and form relationships with its environment. The study of complex systems regards collective or system-wide behaviors as the fundamental object of study. For this reason, complex systems can be understood as an alternative paradigm to reductionism of science, Newton reductionism, which attempts to explain systems in terms of their constituent components and the individual interactions between them. As an interdisciplinary domain, complex system draws contribution from many different fields such as self-organization, self-organized, and critical phenomena from physics that the spontaneous order from the social science, chaos from mathematics. Look at this. Contribution come from many different fields, including uh, this that of spontaneous order from the social science, chaos from mathematics, adaptation from biology, and many others. Complex systems, therefore, often used as a broad term encompassing a research approach to problem in many diverse disciplines. So, key concept. This is one of the example of complex system, and this is cellular automata from John Conway's uh, real game, real life game. Okay, see here. So I'm gonna go over from my notes. This is based on rules. Okay, this is cellular automata. Sliding. Okay, now. So from my notes here, So part of the complex system, it is the system thinking that you think to solve a problem based on thinking as a system. Everything is a system, and also interaction with other systems. So that's what we call system thinking. We think of something as a system and try to solve problem. It's common conceptual framework, the one that has been out there, applied general system theory, kind of scientific method, a theory of organizations, i.e. the arrangement of selected parts so as to promote specific function, a method related to but not identical to system and many components without emerging properties. So system science deals with general properties of system, the principle under which all systems normally behave, not limited to academics but of interest to business people. So system thinking deals with the connections among objects. So we need to study interaction structure rather than with and how these connections and object properties are modified through matter, energy, and information transfer. Both parts and wholes are essential in some dialectical tension. The system approach proceeds from the fact that the specific features of a system are not exhausted by the peculiarities of its component, but are rooted first and most foremost in the character of their connections and relations among its elements, i.e. in its infrastructure. So character of connection. So here, when we want to study technology development, it is the connections, interactions among the scientists and all other agents as well within the ecosystem of uh, technology development. I want to show to you a paper I wrote to apply this complex system to the study of national innovation system. Innovation, to innovate, to create technology. Still